Glad that you're here. This is live at 7:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what time you're seeing it, but I am DeDe Duncan Proby. I am the Episcopal Bishop of Central New York, and I welcome you to this space to begin our day, to start with intentionality about what we want to be about today, about what we're bringing into the day, that we bring our faith forward with us, and that we make space in our day for the love of God to be with us. And so, wherever you are, whatever is happening in your life, to know that you are loved, that God is with you, and that in this space, we are going to share our faith together, but also kind of embolden one another to build up that sense of God's presence in our lives. Now, as usual, I'm going to read the passage from this coming Sunday. This coming Sunday, we're in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 24, verse 13 through 35. And so let us hear what the Gospel tells us today. Now, on that same day, two of Jesus' disciples were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem, and talking with each other about all the things that had happened. While they were talking and discussing, Jesus himself came near and went with them, but their eyes were kept from recognizing him. And Jesus said to them, "What are you discussing with each other while you are walking along?" They stood still, looking and said, looking sad. Then one of them said, whose name was one of them whose name was Cleopas. See, this is when you know it's live, is when it's I'm not quite awake. Um, one Cleopas says, um, "Are you the only one who doesn't know what's happening? Basically, are you the only one who's been missing what's happening?" And so they walk along, and Jesus begins to. I'm paraphrasing because this is very long, and I'm going to cut to the chase. Jesus begins to paraphrase what is happening, and there's a lot of back and forth between them where they think he doesn't know what they're talking about, and then he starts opening the scriptures to them, and they think in their hearts, who is this guy who's telling us everything, because this he doesn't even know anything, and so they're kind of questioning that. But then they come near the village which they're going, and Jesus walks ahead of them, but they urge him and say, "Stay with us, because it is almost evening, and the day is nearly over." So Jesus went to stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, blessed it, and broke it, and gave it to them. And then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. They said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us as he was talking to us on the road, while he was opening the scriptures to us?" That same day they got up and returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 and their companions gathered together, and they were saying, "The Lord has risen indeed and has appeared to Simon." Then they told what had happened on the road and how Jesus had made known to them in the breaking of the bread. The gospel of the Lord. And so this is such a central passage to our piety as people who in the Episcopal Church who have Eucharist. This is very central to our Eucharistic understanding. Sorry for the bad paraphrase this morning, but look it up yourself. Look up Luke 24 and read the passage and kind of dwell with it a bit and think about as we're the movement of it, that they're walking along the road after a big event, and they're met by Jesus in a form they don't recognize. And at first, they're kind of, put off by this stranger. And then they see Jesus and recognize Jesus, the risen Lord. And then they're compelled to jump up from the table and walk right back to Jerusalem. Here they walk 7 miles out. And they jump up and walk back to proclaim that they've seen the Lord. And so, this movement in it, we also recognize a lot of our liturgical words where, breaking of the bread and the Eucharistic prayer. And so this passage is really central for the movements of it: taken, blessed, broken, given. And so that is connects with our lives. As Henry Nouwen, he wrote a book, and then Dom Gregory Dix. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Those of you who are preaching know that there's a lot in this historically and theologically, and then of course scripturally. And so, what does it mean in our lives, though, today, as we're beginning this day, to be taken, blessed, broken, and given out? What does it mean to encounter Jesus in the walking and living of our lives? And how might we, in the walking and living of our lives, proclaim Jesus to a hurting world? And so let me say good morning to those who are gathering. Marty, it's so good to see you. And Sue, um, really glad that you're here. Daniel, um, thank you, Daniel. I am well. It's good to see you. Um, and then Carolyn, great that you're here. And Audrey, so glad that we're all gathering this morning with intentionality. N- Now, I really want to talk about this idea, walking with Jesus. I think this Emmaus passage, while those of us who preach and are, with the theology of it, it's so deep and meaningful. But for our moment today to think about how we are going to walk with Jesus through the day. I don't know if you've ever done this. Some have called it practicing the presence, others, there's all kinds of names for it. But as you're going through the day today, and especially if there's a moment of great joy or if there's a moment of great grief, to allow yourself to imagine Jesus with you. That empty chair in your office, or the space next to you on the train, to imagine that Jesus is right with you, walking with you, and opening up the scriptures to say God loves you. God is here with you. You are part of God's beloved creation, and in you is the spirit of the divine. And so to be encouraged by that in that very moment of the living of your life, to take a moment to be present to it and to allow it to be real to you. And then how might that transform those moments where we're feeling completely isolated or hurt or alone? And to just allow ourselves to be present, to God being present with us, that meeting place. Because in this passage, that meeting of Jesus is so important. And then to keep in mind that often we don't recognize Jesus when we're meeting Jesus. Tr- Surely it's different than a post resurrection appearance, but to be aware that when we're meeting another person who's God's beloved, that in meeting them, we're meeting another part of God. And so to be open to encountering love, open to encountering difference, and in the passage, it's lovely that they're challenged by it. It's not like they're like, hey, this is a really nice guy. And they're actually a little bit kind of challenged by it, and yet they still faithfully invite him to fellowship with them, which is really a kind, generous thing on their part, that they invite him in. And lots of sermons about all of the movements of this. And so if you are preaching, please do read about this and really look at the all of the different viewpoints on it. But as we begin this Tuesday morning and we think about what's coming today, to allow ourselves to be present to God's presence, being present to us. It's um, that meeting place where we have with God today. Um, is this Sunday the gospel account of the road to Emmaus? I love that story. Yes, Daniel, that is the gospel reading for this coming Sunday. And so we will be hearing this in our liturgical practice in the Episcopal Church and in some of the others that share the Revised Common Lectionary together. We will be hearing the story of Emmaus. And Marty, such a comforting thought. Yes. Um, to know that God is with you and that God walks with you and you may meet God. And and to be aware that sometimes when we meet God, we're a little, you know, not super friendly. But but we are open and trying, and that's the biggest part is these two travelers on the road are open to what God is doing. And then I should say something, especially with your preaching this Sunday, about when they recognize Jesus. is when they see Jesus being Jesus. And sometimes we don't recognize each other until we see each other being who we are authentically, children of God, offering to this world, engaging. And then I want to zero in on uh, what Gregory Dixon number of, the taken, blessed, broken, given, that we are part of this movement of redemption, that we're taken up by God, that we're a blessing, that we some the breaking open of our lives and then given as an offering to this world. These are very, it's too much to go into in the 3 4 minutes I have left on this live account. But if you're preaching, and if you're not preaching, to read this passage and sort of sit with, what does it mean in your life to be taken up by God? In what way is your life a blessing and being blessed by God? In what way are you being offered? And with the breaking open, when we think of allowing that space, and often that's what has to happen for us to engage with a stranger, is to break open into a place of actual communion. So much about this time is causing us to be fearful. So much about this time is causing us to doubt ourselves. I've spoken with so many people lately who have said they really feel kind of bad about themselves, or that they're not enough, or that they should be better, or if they were only like something else, or if they were just like that over there, if they were just taller, smarter, faster, stronger, then they could do something for God. Um, but God has created you as you are, as a blessing, and delights in you. And that breaking open to allow God to be present in you, to use all that you are, and to know that you are enough, and that you are exactly what is needed in this world at this time to proclaim the love of Jesus as you would do it in your own uniqueness. And let me see. Yes, oh, absolutely, Daniel. We will pray for your grandfather, um, and so we will um, we will pray for your grandfather. And thank you for those thoughts. Um, so this day, as you're about to go out into the world, or you may already be out in the world, how are you able to engage with that meeting of Jesus in your life, and then that opening up and recognizing that you are enough, and that God is with you and God loves you? All of us are created by God, called by God, and can be empowered to share that love of God with others. And so, as you go about this day, I hope that you'll take a minute to just be reflective on how you might offer the love of Jesus in this world, by a phone call, or writing a card, or meeting the person at the store. And so, in closing, the last thing I want to do is we are going to sing. Um, I don't know how well this is going to go. This is, again, is a live point, but the goal isn't perfection; it is faithfulness. And so, I hope that you'll join with me as we sing. And I am going to sing the old standard that I love to go to, but I think we need it right now desperately, which is "Peace Before Us." So, I invite you to sing with me. Peace before us, peace behind us, peace under our feet, peace within us, peace over us, let all around us be peace. Love before us, love behind us, love under our feet, love within us, love over us, let all around us be love. May you know that you are loved. May you be blessed and be a blessing. May you meet Jesus on the road to where you're going. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Be blessed, and I'll see you soon.